Recording is on, let's go. And I fucking kept myself as a driver. Wait, sorry. Whoopsie. Okay. Hello and welcome to the JL Season 12B finale. This time in Ricardo Tormo in Valencia. I'm joined here by Corvid. Hello, Corvid. How are you
Hello.
doing?
Doing okay. Just decided to see the drivers come out and finish the season high, really.
All right.
Anyone in particular to follow? Of course, Kangeka is pretty much got one hand on the title in terms of this season. He is 20 points ahead of the next closest challenger, being Simon Saw that.
Yeah, well, we did see No Hacks put in a very strong performance in AL in his last race in AL just a few moments ago. Okay, Kan Hacker does take the pole for now with quite the lead compared to the people right behind him. We'll have to see if he manages to keep that.
Yeah, two tenths ahead of everyone else. Tomatoes and then Little One in P3 at the moment. Everyone just sort of settling themselves after that first lap, of course. Gecko going back around the final corner. Let's see if he can improve on the time. He does not.
Alright, No Hacks does improve a little bit. So does Tomatoes, but it's not enough to challenge. There is a
Yeah.
fierce battle there for P5 as well.
Yeah, P5 is very hotly contested, so is P2. If Simon Saw that can't get to the lead of the championship, of course, because Max is 2 points behind him, and Little One a further 6 points behind Nahak. So, yeah, still quite a lot of shuffling that could be happening with the grid on the final bit of the season there. No hacks with an improvement, but it's not going to be enough of a pole there. Kangeka still holding onto that as everyone comes rolling into the start-finish straight there.
Yeah, and there we go. In the first row, we have Kangaker and Paul, followed by No Hacks in P2 with an amazing last lap, just 500ths away from the pole. Tomatoes in P3, followed by Lil One on the same row. Then we have Nakes and Autocraze. Kurunk in P7, with Simon Saw that beside him in P8. Smile for You and Emma Box rounding out the top 10. Further down we have Maska Brevis and Drozdov, Priya and Fox, and Felix Lotus and Music Man will start from the last row.
Yeah, so big points to take away is that the top five has both the Delphox Spartans team and HRT Cloud. Those two are at the moment fighting for the title. It is a 5 point gap between them in the Constructors Championships. So any big jump from those four drivers can mean potential catastrophe for one of those teams in this title fight. So it does mean Delphox Spartans do increase that lead by 1 point with that pole position.
Alright, let's go then. We're only waiting for Maska Brevas. Of course, we will have rain in this race, so we never know what might happen.
Could be a lot of things that changes very, very soon in yeah. Could be rain, could have a lot of changing conditions for the drivers. We are starting with a slightly damp track. So the drivers will have to adjust. It is quite sunny, so um that will affect how the drivers approach these first few laps as we're underway.
Yeah, and it's
It looks
always
like
interesting to see when the track starts like that, because there's always someone who takes a risk, and we can already see that Priya and Music Man started on the softs. We'll have to see
ooh,
if that
wow.
is a good idea. Uh,
Not the greatest start, little one, as Audi Craze actually gets it into P1 now, fighting with Kangeka and Tomatoes. And Nohax is now in the lead. Ooh.
yeah, and I think there's only going to be one extra lap for the Inters to be good, and so will Music Man and Priya come out ahead? It might not be good enough. They
Oh,
are
Kronk
probably
is
losing a
already
lot
in
of
after
time.
one lap. Maybe a bit of an early reaction from the Canadian, but he is now out on some fresh, soft tyres, just streaming into the back of the field. For now, actually, Nakes is now leading. That is huge for the Delphox team. Audi in second. And then Simon saw that and Kageka fighting for third. Little one in
Yeah,
fifth. Then it's Nohax, Tomatoes.
a lot of
Lexi
rough
and
housing
Muscovravis just
going on.
going through turn
Oh,
12 here.
Nakes
Simon
into
saw
the
that.
grass at the last corner.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Lots of panic as the drivers are heading into the pit lane after just 2 laps. And Simon saw that Nakes are still going for another lap.
Oh, and
Everyone is
we
streaming
actually
in
see
for those
Priya in
dry
P6.
compounds. Oh, that's big. Yeah.
Priya was at the
Definitely
back of the
helping.
grid.
Yeah, Priya was at the back and was able to avoid too much of the chaos. So now, while she is now in P6, there is a big group of cars directly behind her, and a big gap to the next group now. Little one in P5, a second and a half ahead
Yeah,
of Priya, as we
Nakes
get
and
our
Simon
last
saw that
drivers
pitting.
streaming into the pit lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to have be offset by 2 laps compared to some of the others who pit earlier. So we'll have to see how that will adjust with the, of course, the tire wear later in the race. Little one just holding on to P3 now. Nakes and Simon saw that now challenging him on those faster tires. For now, though, it's Crunk through into 6th. Music Man Priya. Oh my god, there's like 5 cars going into turn 10 together. That's a little bit of chaos in the mid-pack here. But Crunk is through. No hacks. Slipping him down on the hard tire. No hacks are the hard tire runners in this pack.
Yeah, and the soft
And
runners
further
will
up again.
probably want to get ahead of the pack and stop losing time to the hard runners. So we'll probably see a lot of battling going on while everyone tries to assert their dominance, and 3 cars go off.
It looked like Mr. Crunk went for a little bit of a dive there. It was a little misjudged there, and he took himself out along with a couple of other drivers. So he's back down in P11.
Yeah, and it's now 3
And,
drivers fighting for P6. Emma Box fell
We'll have to see
back
how
a bit.
Nohax recovers as well, because Nohax, again, in that title fight, Little One needs some help being in P3. The Delphox Spartans team, P2 and P4 at the moment, so it's looking quite good for them.
Yeah, and Lil One just lost 2 positions in a couple corners, and Rain.
More rain!
Ooh, Lil One
The leaders have
went
just
off.
gotten past. Simon saw that he's going to be the first to react. He's already in. Little One as well, trying to turn his fortunes, going for the wets immediately.
It's
And
probably
it
the
was
best
heavy rain
choice
as well.
because Rain just hit the track, and now Nakes will have to drive the rest of the lap on the wet track. Yeah, and we can see already it's having it. Oh!
Oh, but
And
the sun's coming right in, so the rain is going to be heavy.
Wow.
But it means that we're going to have to see how long the guys who haven't stopped yet are going to manage on this damn track.
Well, it's definitely
But it does
possible for Nakes, Autocraze, and company to just pit for softs when the rain ends. We'll have to see. But yeah, they are losing a lot of time. The fact that it was heavy rain means that the track got a lot.
Oh, Nakes has already lost
Lot
the position.
of,
The little one.
Oh no, Nakes.
He's just finding the grip completely terrible there at turn 3.
Yeah, Autocraze also
Yeah,
being overtaken
it's a
by
P5.
Simon saw that now. And probably Kangaker is gonna be next.
Yeah, there you go, Kangeka.
So will Simon
Still
saw
holding
that be the
position
first one
for
into the
not
pits?
much longer. The sun is going to be out for a much longer. Simon saw that through, and he's actually going to stay out. So Kangeka now
okay.
Ooh, interesting. Little one in, Audi Craze in. That's going to be Little one in net P3 now. as everyone is streaming, and even the drivers who are
Oh.
on the... Oh, I think Nohax has missed his pit lane. That is disastrous.
Oh no.
Oh, wow. The HRT team in complete shambles today. Nohax missing his pit box. He had to go backwards in the pit lane to reach it.
Yeah, he definitely lost
Oh,
a
God.
lot of positions there. Alright, we do see Music Man still on the inters, right
Simon
behind
saw that. He's actually
Droslov.
going to hold on to the lead there. Because he's pitted at the same point as Kangeka, and he's actually held on to that position. He's gone onto the hard tyre. Kangeka on the softs. Little one going through. He's going side by side with Simon Saw that to take the lead of the race here around the outside on turn 3, and he's got the move done.
Yeah, but that's perfect for Simon Saw that. He can just slip and take advantage of the soft space, and he will be able to just pit later and probably have one fewer pit stop than these two drivers. So he really just needs to keep it steady, not make any major mistakes.
I don't know. I think you could definitely go from the soft tires that Kangeka and Little One have just been on. You could definitely stick on those for a little bit longer and run them to a position where you can finish the race on hards, I think. But this is going to be absolutely brilliant for Simon Saw that. He's going to really benefit from the slipstream as Kangeka is trying to get past him.
Yeah,
Oh, but Little One makes a mistake. Simon Saw that through into the lead of the race for the time being.
It's some tough fighting between the three of those. It's gonna be dangerous as they are all fighting for a position. None of them wants to just chill back. Kangeka a little bit twitchy. Let's hope that doesn't cause any issues. They're going 3 wide into a few corners, which is definitely not advisable.
It's not advisable, but it's not being too it's not been too bad for any driver at the moment. They're keeping a good pace regardless of that.
Yeah, it's working fine so far.
Yeah, so far. Adicray is 2 seconds behind them in P4. Drozdov, and then Mr. Crunk in 7th. Emma Box, Nakes, Nohax rounds the top 10. Nohax really wants to get a move on if there's any chance for HRT Cloud to salvage a championship from here as we just finish up lap 12.
Yeah, and sadly, Priya and Music Man are now P13 and P14 after having gotten that jump start from the rain. They got into that middle pack, a lot of incidents, and they just fell back steadily.
I think the real issue was the timing of the second rain there. It happened right after their pit window from the first set that they started the race with. So ultimately, it just wasn't the strategy that paid off for them at the end, given the weather forecast. Got Little One just like Felix Lotus now, as Simon Saw that and Kakekas continue to follow him. Looks like Simon has sort of lost the slipstream, but Little One's made a bit of a mistake there. And now the 3 drivers now are right back in the thick of them, side by side, almost 3 wide heading to the final corner. Kangeka tries to switch back, it's not going to work out. Simon Saw that leading after 14 laps, but Kangeka is going to hold the inside, coming into turn 1. Gives his rival a bit of space here. It looks like Kangeka is through the lead. Simon Saw that still desperate to hold on to this lead though, as the hard tyres are really starting to wear out. Little One is slowing down, and Audi Craze now into this fight as well.
Yeah, and Simon Saw that is not letting that go, even though he's on slower tires. He is fighting for it to hell and back. Lil One will probably be the first of them to pit, and he pits right now. So he's probably going to go for hards, right? Yo, he went for softs.
He needs to run the softs. I don't think he can run the hards for 14 laps. It might be a real stretch to do so, but he's taking 2 sets of softs, and that's been absolute catastrophe for HRT. The rain has been called thin again. That might be their title hopes all extinguished now.
Oh, and Simon Saw that.
Back, immediately reacting.
Able to overtake Kangeka due to the tire wear of Kangeker's softs, and I think he kind of pushed Kangeka a bit. He said sorry there.
I think Nohax and Nakes as well also pitted on the exact same moment. So now it's going to be Simon Saw that taking the lead of the race on the wets. Kangeka following Audi Craze now, holding on to that P3 as Little One will roll in. It's dry. How fast can it dry though? That is going to be the biggest Question here.
Oh, but it's
For
gonna
Little
go
One, if he's gonna have
for the
any chance to
clouds.
make it
So
through,
the
it's gonna go
clouds
to
don't
clouds.
dry as much as the sun, so it will probably not be fast enough for Lil One to be able to take any advantage out of it. Sadly.
Emma Box as well, going for that undercut earlier and has been
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely ruined by the rain here.
And a lot of
No
the
hacks
grid
just
has
getting through the
decided
field.
not
This
to pit.
actually, in a lot of ways, I'm not sure how this can really fare worse for HRT Cloud, especially because on the back end, No Hacks has actually made the correct decision. He's on the inters at the moment. Nakes is on the medium, so Nakes will slowly fall down the order. But I'm not sure it's going to be enough given Kangekka is now in P2. And Little One is slowly falling down the order as well. Kronk now getting through Emma Box. The rain is
Oh,
coming
there we
back!
go.
And that's not the news that some of these drivers have wanted to hear.
Yeah, that is great news for Krunk though, because he is on P8, but he will start quickly going up the order as people start pitting, because a lot of people decided to stay out in those conditions for some reason on the slick tires. So Krunk will probably stand to gain a lot, and we see that he is now in P7, and he's quite close to No Hacks on the inters.
I'm not sure if that would be the end of his things. Little One has come out onto some wet tires as the track again is starting to dry out a tiny bit here. He is 14 seconds down on Tomatoes in P4, but he's still got a decent gap on No Hacks in 5th.
Yeah, and that's a fierce battle for P2 here between Kangekka and Autocraze. As Simon saw that, we'll probably be happy to see that because
And
he is
there's
just
even
running
more
away.
rain!
Yeah, and that is good news for both Lil One and Kronk because they are on the wet, so they might be able to catch up a little bit. Well, Lil One is about 15 seconds behind, so maybe not. But Kronk definitely will have some advantage here.
If anything, though, it might actually be really beneficial to the drivers that took the late you might think that if the rain goes to the end, some of the guys who hit really early for that wet tire will be really struggling at the end of the race. Or have me going maybe 14, 13 laps on the wets.
Yeah.
So a lot of the drivers further back on fresher wet tires can make the difference.
Yeah, and we see that Drozdov left the race. I believe that he pitted for mediums, and the rain just became worse. I think that's what happened, so he decided to just throw in the towel. He was the only one on dry tires in this situation, so I can kind of understand. And meanwhile, we have three people fighting for P2.
Yeah. It's going to be really imperative that Kangekka can hold on to that, get into P2 at the moment, because as it stands, with Little One and No Hat sitting in 5th and 7th, he'll need all the points he can muster here. If he falls down to 3rd, like if Tomatoes gets past him and he finishes in 3rd here, with Nex is at the moment, it might not be enough to hold on to the Constructors title. We'll have to see, though. There is still a 6-point gap in favour of the Delphox Spartans team. But we'll just keep you updated on that as the race progresses. Kangekka at the moment sitting in P2. As it stands, P2 and P10 will be enough to combat the HRT Cloud team.
Tomatoes, I believe that Autocraze was pushed off a little bit by Tomatoes at one corner and fell back. Tomatoes, in the meantime, started losing a lot of time on the inters on the full wet track and lost Kangekka, but Autocraze has caught up and overtaken Tomatoes. He is struggling to keep up with Autocraze, but soon, in maybe half a lap, it's going to be inters conditions, so it will be advantage Tomatoes in this battle, so he might be able to beat Autocraze to the pit lane when the track dries out completely.
Exactly. So a few of the tight battles at the moment. Again, Tomatoes just chasing Autocraze for P3 there. We got this little group between P5, Little One, and then Kronk and No Hacks behind him. No Hacks on the inters now, so that will be interesting to see how he goes around for the next, say, 2 laps before. But Kronk is in for a really early stop.
Yeah,
That
so
is
one
very
thing that
interesting.
I realize now, so Tomatoes might actually just stay out on his inters. The inters do relatively well on the dry track, so he would only have to lose enough time that Autocraze doesn't catch up after his pit stop. We'll have to see what he decides to do. It's gonna be tough. We see Tomatoes going into third place now, so he will definitely have the advantage over Autocraze if he decides
And
to pit.
here we are. The track is dry now, and Nohax is going to be the first person to get immediate. No, not the first person. He's got the first person to go into the pits after the track is completely dried. He comes out, and he is a second ahead of Crunk. So the undercut from Crunk not really working out on that opportunity.
Yeah, and there we go.
We still have a few
Tomatoes into
drivers
the
coming
lead.
in.
But he will have to do 3 laps on the inters if he's not planning to pit. And the inters are 1 out, so it might not be the greatest gamble.
Might not be the. Yeah.
But I mean,
I
it's
mean, worst case scenario is that he finishes fourth now. The gap between fourth and fifth is so huge, where, like, this risk has, like, pretty much nothing but a bet positive. If he finishes fourth, then you can't really be too upset with his decision here. Simon saw that running through, just through Tomatoes here. He's doing all he can to make this Drivers' Championship his own, but Kangeka is just too close as it stands. Tomatoes really struggling on those inters. Still got a lap and a half to run on them, and he's just fighting the gravel there at turn 7.
yeah. So the big question is,
Kangeka
will
getting
Tomatoes finish
oh, wow.
ahead of Autocraze? Oh my God, that is.
I reckon at this point it might be a real struggle too. The little one in 5th, Nohax in 6th, Crunk, then Smile for You, Mascabrevus, Emma Box, and then Priya and Next now in 12th. He really want to fix that up with just 2 laps to go. Kangeka in 2nd.
All right, will Tomatoes do it? It's the last lap. It's the last chance, and he's overtaken by Autocraze. With no
There
chance.
you go.
He definitely overestimated his inters.
The points for Delphox Spartans is 33 at the moment. The points for HRT Cloud in 5th and 6th.
And Simon
is,
saw that wins the JL.
Yeah, there we go. Simon saw that
finale.
wins.
Kangeka in 2nd, and Autocraze running out the podium with Tomatoes with his valiant struggle on the
34,
inters
so
in
it
4th.
won't be enough. I don't think it'll be
Lil
enough at this point. I think Nakes can still finish 11th, and then Delphox Spartans will still win the championship here. Kangeka with that P2 is just good enough. But it is, yeah, Kronk just coming through now in 7th.
Alright, we have
Smile
Small for
in
You.
8th, and Mascabrevus.
Yep. Right behind him. We have Emma Box and Nakes rounding out the top 10.
And there you go, Nakes
Priya.
with P10. That will be enough. So Kangeka is your JL Season 12B World Champion, and his team, along with Nakes, will take the Constructors. That is the Delphox Spartans team, winning once again. Great to see, of course.
Music man, don't do that! Don't do that! Don't do that! Don't do that! Oh my
What are you
god.
doing, man?
Okay.
He already finished the race, so he just... yeah, if he wants to do that, he should not go over the stuff in his
That's
slam.
what we call
There you
pulling
go.
the saucy. Anyway, we have Simon Saw That in first place for Ricardo Supernova, followed by Kangaka in P2 and Autocrace in P3, followed by Tomatoes from Solaris a few seconds behind. Then we have Lil One and No Hacks, the 2 HRT Cloud drivers. Grunk in Small For You in P7 and P8. In P9 and P10 rounding out the top 10, we have Mascabrevas and Emma Box for Ferra Verde. We have Nakes in P11 with the fastest lap of 32.83 for Delphox Spartans, followed by Priya in P12, Music Man in P13, and Felix Lotus in P14. The last 2 positions were Fox, who actually finished the race in P15, and Alexei Drozdov for Archon, who actually DNF'd midway through the race. All right, and that's it. Congratulations to Kangeker. Thank you, Corvid, for joining us for this race.
Oh, good.
All right, and I'll see you all in about 3 weeks for round one and also the Spanish Grand Prix, also in the Catalan countries, in this case in the Circuit de Catalunya. Cheers.
All right.